Every man reaches a point where he realizes that wishing for strength is not the same as building it. This realization does not arrive suddenly or dramatically, comes quietly, often when a man looks at himself and understands that potential without action is wasted energy. Muscle building begins long before the first weight is lifted. It begins with a decision, a commitment to effort, and the willingness to accept discomfort as part of growth. A man who chooses to build his body is not chasing appearance alone. He is choosing discipline, structure, and self-respect. The gym becomes more than a place to train. It becomes a proving ground where excuses lose their power and consistency earns respect. Muscle is built through repetition, patience, and controlled struggle. There are no shortcuts that last. Every rep performed with intention strengthens more than muscle fibers, it strengthens the mind. A man learns quickly that motivation is unreliable. Some days it shows up strong, other days it disappears completely. Discipline, however, remains available every day. The men who transform their bodies are not the most excited ones. They are the most consistent ones. They train when energy is low, when progress feels slow, and when comfort is tempting. This consistency separates those who talk from those who build. Training teaches a man how to face resistance without panic. The weight does not care how he feels. It responds only to effort. When the bar feels heavy and the muscles burn, quitting becomes an option, but not the right one. Each time a man pushes through that moment, he reinforces a powerful lesson. Discomfort is temporary, strength is permanent. This lesson transfers beyond training. It changes how he handles pressure, fatigue, and challenges in daily life. He becomes calmer under stress because he has practiced staying focused while his body demands relief. Progress in muscle building is often slow and invisible at first. Weeks of effort may show little change, and this is where many men fail. They expect instant results in a process designed to reward patience. A disciplined man understands that growth happens quietly. Muscles adapt before they show. Strength increases before it is noticed. The body is always responding, even when the mirror remains unchanged. Trusting the process becomes essential. Those who quit early never allow time to work in their favor. As the routine becomes consistent, the body begins to change. Strength increases, endurance improves, movements feel more controlled. These changes build confidence, but not the loud kind that seeks attention. This confidence is internal. It comes from knowing effort has been applied repeatedly without excuses. The man no longer needs approval because he respects himself. He understands that discipline builds identity. Each completed workout becomes proof that he keeps promises to himself. Muscle building also teaches humility. Progress is never linear. There are setbacks, plateaus, and days where strength feels weaker than expected. These moments test patience. A strong man does not react emotionally. He adjusts. He refines technique, improves recovery, and continues. He understands that frustration does not build muscle, but persistence does. This mindset creates mental toughness that extends far beyond physical training. Nutrition, rest, and recovery become part of the process. The man learns that muscle is built outside the gym as much as inside it. He becomes more intentional with what he consumes, understanding that food is fuel, not entertainment. Sleep becomes a priority, not a luxury. These choices reinforce discipline and self-control. The body responds positively to respect, and respect is shown through consistency in all areas. Over time, training reshapes posture, movement, and presence. The man carries himself differently. He walks with stability. He stands with confidence. His energy becomes grounded. People may notice the physical change, but the deeper transformation is internal. He is no longer searching for motivation. He has built momentum. Momentum makes discipline easier because progress feels earned. Muscle building is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming reliable. Reliable to train when tired, reliable to eat with intention, reliable to show up even when no one is watching. This reliability creates pride that cannot be taken away. The man understands that strength is not something he borrows, it is something he builds. This is only the beginning of the journey. The decision has been made, the routine has started, The body has begun to adapt. What comes next is deeper discipline, heavier pressure, and greater responsibility. But the foundation is now set. A man who commits to building muscle commits to building himself. And once that commitment is made honestly, the path forward becomes clear, demanding, and worth every effort. Once the decision to build muscle is made, reality begins to test that decision every single day. This is where discipline replaces excitement and routine replaces motivation. The body starts demanding rest, comfort, and excuses, while the goal demands consistency. Muscle building is not a battle against weights alone. It is a daily negotiation with the mind. The man who succeeds is the one who refuses to negotiate with weakness. He understands that progress does not come from perfect days, but from showing up on imperfect ones. Every workout completed when energy is low strengthens not just the body, but the will. Pain becomes part of the process, not injury, but the controlled discomfort that signals adaptation. Muscles burn, lungs work harder, and fatigue sets in. This pain teaches patience. It teaches restraint. A man learns to breathe through resistance instead of panicking under it. Each set becomes a lesson in endurance. Each rep reinforces the understanding that growth requires stress, and stress must be managed, not avoided. Men who fear discomfort never build strength. Men who accept it learn to control it. Discipline reveals itself most clearly on days when progress feels absent. There will be weeks when strength stalls, when numbers do not increase, and when the mirror shows little change. These moments separate builders from quitters. A disciplined man understands that the body adapts on its own timeline. He continues to train with intention, focusing on form, control, and effort rather than emotion. He trusts that consistent input will eventually produce visible output. Quitting during slow phases only guarantees failure. As training continues, the man begins to understand his body more deeply. He learns when to push harder and when to pull back. Ego lifting loses its appeal because it produces no long-term results. Technique becomes a priority. Control replaces chaos. This maturity in training reduces injury and increases effectiveness. The goal is no longer to impress others, but to improve personal performance. Progress becomes internal before it becomes visible. Nutrition becomes stricter during this phase. The man realizes that muscle cannot be built on careless habits. He becomes aware of what fuels performance and what weakens it. Food choices are no longer emotional, they are intentional. Protein supports repair, carbohydrates fuel effort, and hydration maintains performance. This awareness creates structure. Structure creates discipline. Discipline creates results. The body responds positively when it is respected. Rest and recovery also gain importance. Sleep is no longer optional. Recovery days are no longer seen as weakness. The man understands that muscle grows when the body repairs itself, not when it is constantly stressed without relief. Balancing intensity with recovery becomes a skill. This balance prevents burnout and allows long-term progress. A disciplined man thinks long-term, not just about today's workout. Mentally, training builds resilience. The man becomes less reactive. Stress outside the gym feels more manageable because he has trained under pressure. He learns to stay calm while his body is under load. This calmness carries into work, relationships, and decision-making. Muscle building strengthens emotional control because it requires patience, consistency, and delayed gratification. These qualities shape a stable mindset. Confidence begins to grow quietly, not the loud confidence that seeks attention, but the grounded confidence that comes from reliability. The man trusts himself because he has proven that he can show up consistently. He no longer needs constant motivation because discipline has become habit. Habit removes friction. What once felt difficult now feels normal. Training becomes part of identity. There will still be hard days. There will still be moments of doubt. But the man no longer interprets difficulty as a signal to stop. He understands that difficulty is part of the process. He trains anyway. He eats correctly anyway. He rests properly anyway. This repetition compounds over time, producing results that appear sudden to outsiders, but are the product of long-term effort. This stage is where real progress is built. Not flashy progress, but sustainable progress. The man is no longer experimenting, he is executing. He is no longer chasing motivation, he is reinforcing discipline. Muscle building becomes less about transformation and more about maintenance of standards. The body changes steadily, and the mindset becomes unbreakable. This phase prepares the man for the final stage of the journey. Strength is no longer just physical. Identity begins to form. Responsibility increases. Standards solidify. The foundation is strong enough to support long-term growth. The work is no longer new, but it is meaningful. What comes next is the realization of identity, confidence, and the deeper purpose behind building strength.